If you're an ADA holder like me, you've enjoyed the recent 50% gains on Cardano, but we've been here before. Over the past 6 to 7 months, Cardano has seen multiple lower highs like this one. The question on my mind, and probably yours, is it different this time? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. It means a lot to me. Let's jump into the Cardano video just to look at this. This is a 6-hour chart. Here's the move we're talking about. 50% to the upside. It's been extremely enjoyable, right? Cardano's been down. So anytime we're getting moves like this, it's enjoyable. But is it lasting? And is it going to last? Just to zoom out on this 6-hour, we really have been here before. Cardano has been here before. If you remember back here in January, the beginning of January, from this swing low to swing high, Cardano saw just about the same gains, 50, 52% gains before you saw what happened next, another lower low. So this was a lower high that led to a lower low, and Cardano just continued this downtrend. So it's kind of like, how do we differentiate what's happening now from that? How do we break down the charts to kind of try and get some guidance now? Well, is that same thing going to happen? If it does, what should we watch for? But is there anything on the chart suggesting that it's different this time? And there actually are, and this is definitely no guarantee, but I want to just point out some bullish divergence that is happening on Cardano charts and just kind of get a sense of where we are in this long-term consolidation. So as we dive in, this is not financial advice, everyone. You all know that, but I just have to let you know this is data we're tracking. And all we can do is be prepared. No YouTuber, nobody out there knows what's going to happen next. So just be very careful when it comes to crypto in general. So let's do this. Is it different, this move to the upside right now? Let's go and let's start on the daily chart. So first thing is first, Cardano right now is at a resistance area that we can be very aware of, and it's plain as day. This recent swing high to the 50-day moving average, that blue line, to the swing low Cardano put in back in end of February, I guess you can say. Even here, we can consider this a swing low, Cardano consolidating down there, but we'll pull it to this wick here on this daily chart. Cardano right now in this Fibonacci resistance range. It's no surprise Cardano has kind of hit a wall of consolidation right now at the 786 around $1.15 to the 618 around $1.06. So it's very normal that Cardano is interacting with this entire channel. And it's actually kind of good because we like to see consistencies when we're using these indicators. The reason we call this a resistance, a lower high resistance area, is because oftentimes it acts as resistance. So when we see it in real time on a daily chart, by the way, this is a daily chart, acting as resistance, we're like, hey, listen, this is a reminder that technical analysis works. And now we have this channel for Cardano that says, let's wait to see if Cardano can break above and get a bullish confirmation. And so that's what we're waiting for on this daily chart. Now, just the same, and before we go into this bullish divergence and we look at that, just the same, if Cardano sees resistance and fails to make a breakout to the upside, if that happens and resistance happens, this is still what we're looking for. We'll take a swing low at this consolidation area for Cardano to the recent swing high, and this is basically the 50% gains. And we look for Cardano to see a consolidation and more of a retracement back to this higher low Fibonacci support area, right? So on the flip side of resistance that we just looked at in the Fibonacci, now we're looking at support. And oftentimes we kind of visualize like a ping pong type of match going on, right? Boom, boom, and then it consolidates. And sometimes we get like we get symmetrical triangles on the charts because of these Fibonacci channels. But long story short, that support area, if Cardano is going to fail at the resistance, the support area we'd be watching for is 93 cents to 86 cents. A lot of you might be like, man, I don't want Cardano to fall back below $1. I'm right there with you. I'm in the same boat. I don't want to see it go back below $1 either, but just from a technical perspective, it's very much in play. Not only because of the Fibonacci channel that's right there for support, and let me get rid of this resistance so we can see this more clearly, but also just because confluent, almost perfectly confluent with this support channel is the 50-day moving average and the 20-day moving average kind of creeping up there on the 50-day moving average. So we're waiting to see if we can get the 20-day moving average cross above the 50-day. And often in that story being told, we see this a lot. Cardano consolidates into the moving averages. Maybe it's sideways for like another week, or it just consolidates a lot quicker into those moving averages with a quicker downtrend. It could be a big red candle, like right to the 50-day moving average. We could be below $1 tomorrow, testing these moving averages and testing all of the support area. Now, that could be part of the story that we're kind of looking for, which is the 20-day moving average cross above the 50-day. So Cardano visiting these areas, getting a higher low support, maybe sideways, maybe even below the moving averages a little, but popping right back up and then above. If you remember, I think it was the last video, we were looking at this a daily chart, but going back to kind of this bottoming out range that happened kind of a couple times. And we were trying to just identify, well, what does Cardano look like when it's bottoming out and making a reversal? Obviously, we have that 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day, that green above the blue. And then we have just this compression of the moving averages. And you see Cardano kind of just squeezing as that's happening until we finally see what we really want to see, which is higher highs and higher lows above the moving averages, right? So that happened there. Unfortunately, COVID hit, but it happened again. Higher highs, higher lows above those moving averages. So going back to the current daily chart, that's where we are at this stage of the game, which is to say, that's a 6 hour, which is to say, on this daily chart, we're at the early stage, right? We're waiting for the 20-day to just make that cross above the 50-day moving average. Because guess what? That has not happened yet in this entire downtrend. So this would be a very bullish indicator if we can get that 20-day cross above the 50-day moving average. So that's something I'm really watching on the daily chart. So now let's talk about the bullish divergence, right? So we've been in this downtrend for Cardano, and it's, let me zoom out a little bit so we can just see this. It's just been multi-month, going all the way back here to September, just a downtrend of lower lows and lower highs. Now, what kind of you see on this chart as Cardano is going down on the daily with these lower highs, check this out in the momentum oscillator. We have a swing high here, Cardano attempting a breakout. We have another swing high right here, Cardano attempting a breakout. And then we have the current swing high. And you can just see it's actually higher highs on the RSI on this daily chart. So lower highs on the price chart, higher highs on the momentum oscillator. That's kind of a bullish divergence picture that we see on the zoomed out daily chart. If we go and we look at the weekly chart, this is the other thing that I'm seeing in terms of momentum oscillators. There's been kind of an area on the Cardano weekly chart where Cardano is just kind of below. I just identified this yellow line, right? Below that line is kind of just this bottoming out area for Cardano. And it's happened. This is the bear market low back in 2018. This is all back in 2019 in the low. Here's the COVID swing low. And then here's our recent low that we're at. Now, each time Cardano finally does kind of escape that range. And check this out. Cardano has been really below this range for a while now. And we've talked about this. Cardano on the macro charts looking very oversold. And this is really what it looks like on the weekly RSI, a slower moving momentum oscillator. There is so much room for Cardano to the upside. But one thing I'm noticing as I'm looking at this weekly chart, Cardano potentially escaping above this line, right? We've seen resistance at this line a couple times in January and December on this RSI. We've seen resistance at this line all the way back here, November 19, before seeing another low. We kind of saw resistance in just around that vicinity back here in January, or the end of 2018 of December, before kind of escaping as well. So it's interesting now to see Cardano on this RSI on the weekly potentially escaping. Now, if we exit the momentum oscillator and we look at what else is going on the weekly, well, here's what else is going on the weekly that we really can't ignore. This is huge. Maybe the most bullish indicator getting ready to set up for Cardano, which is the MACD line getting ready to cross the signal line. That is the blue line above the red line. This is a huge momentum indicator that many people utilize all across crypto. And it really is a nice visualization of momentum and momentum shift, right? So we're waiting for this blue line to cross. that red line, the MACD line crossing the uh, the signal line, which is red. The other thing is just check it out. I mean, the histogram making its way back to zero. We haven't seen a green histogram candle since September, right? And that was actually the last one. That was on its way down. So if we can identify soon a green candle above zero on the histogram, this could be a really, really huge indicator in terms of Cardano truly putting in this reversal. When all that is said and done, Cardano is meeting its match here at the 20-week moving average. You know, we got the 20-week moving average crossing below the 50-week moving average all the way back here. It looks like it's around January, end of January. Cardano making its way right now back into the 20-week moving average, the 50-week moving average all the way up here around $1.60. They're both extremely important. There can be a lot of resistance right now for Cardano, but that's ultimately the area we want to see Cardano break, because in downtrends, not just for Cardano, but any crypto, we just see the just constant lower lows and lower highs below that 20-week moving average. And the goal for really bullish reversal is to see Cardano break back above that area. So that's something that we should definitely pay attention to, because the 20-week moving average right now is right around $1.21. So going back to kind of bring all of this together to our daily chart, if we look at our daily chart, you can see Cardano right now, and let's just mark the $1.21 area for Cardano. That's the 20-week moving average that we just looked at. Now we're on the daily chart. So we have that resistance right there. Then we have the swing high back here to the swing low that we were just talking about. And Cardano, you can see just all in this resistance area. So if we see a pop to the upside, here's what I'd be watching for. This would be extremely bullish for Cardano to break above not only the Fibonacci you see on the screen, but right here, the 20-week moving average. And then I'd be watching for just resistance. I'd be watching for Cardano to see if it can make its next bullish move to this entire area, which is the 200-day moving average right around $1.54. But then we have these kind of trend lines, the white trend line that you see, which is a trend line that we've tracked for months now. So confluent with that, that's right around $1.40. So $1.40 up to around $1. You know, where do we say the 200-day moving average is in red? It's like $1.55. Let's just say $1.55 to $1.40 is the huge next resistance area for Cardano. Will it even get there? We have to watch how Cardano interacts with the current resistance that is in right now. But this is what I'm watching on Cardano. Let me know how you're doing out there. I appreciate you coming by. Enjoy your weekend, your Saturday. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.